Dubai's artificial islands. Whatever you may think of them, from the Palm Jumeirah to the site of the world's biggest observation wheel, they do make quite a sight. They're just one of the ways that this city has taken construction to extremes in recent years, building even more coastal real estate for luxury tourism. And yet, despite looking amazing, building into the sea like this on such an enormous scale has come at a price. Since work first began on these man-made resorts over 20 years ago, their impact on the aquatic environment across the Arabian Gulf has been called into question. Now, Dubai could be about to make up for it, with a marine regeneration project that would be the largest of its kind. Is this how a city obsessed with reclaiming land atones for the damage it's done? Or is it another case of all talk and no action? There aren't many cities that have changed as much as Dubai over the past few decades. When you compare the skyline of today to the 1990s, it's like looking at two entirely different places. It's a similar story from above too, and especially along the coastline. Starting in 2000, Dubai built several artificial islands, all of them huge engineering projects, and they're now filled with apartments, hotels, a water park, and even a monorail. That's all meant a lot of construction using land reclamation, a process that's become controversial due to its impact on marine environments in some parts of the world. It was also a cause of the worst case of coral bleaching in the UAE's history, affecting 73% of the country's reefs. But Dubai could be about to make amends with what's been labelled the world's largest ocean restoration project. Described as a living lab for marine research, regeneration and ecotourism, Dubai Reefs is home to residential, hospitality, retail and educational facilities. At the centre of it all will be the Marine Institute, with a focus on protecting the ocean and coast off Dubai in 4 stages. Another massive part of the scheme is the construction of an absolutely enormous 3D printed artificial reef covering 200 square kilometres. Overall, the place will be home to over 1 billion corals and 100 million mangrove trees. Everything is going to be powered by renewables, there's an underwater farm, you name it, it's all going on here. And on top of all that, the whole thing's going to be floating. Now, we better just come out and say it, this isn't definitely happening. In fact, it was only recently announced by URB, a developer based in Dubai, and it's currently in the research and development stage. It's also fair to say that judging by the renderings released so far, it's very ambitious. But when you look at what's being proposed and compare it to other projects that have either been done or are in the works in this city, then it all seems possible. It's not easy, but it is at least doable. Take 3D printing of artificial reefs, for example. Organisations around the world have been experimenting with this for years, including Danish energy firm Ørsted. In 2022, the company teamed up with WWF to install 12 3D printed structures under the sea between Sweden and Denmark. The hope is that these will restore fish populations and improve marine biodiversity in the area. On the energy side, floating solar farms can now be found all over the world, so that's not a huge challenge. Then there's tidal power, where electricity is generated by underwater turbines. Although there's fewer examples of this to point to, they do exist, like in the Shetland Islands off the coast of Scotland, where a tidal array system has been powering the energy grid since 2016. Okay, but what about floating buildings? Well, there's a way to do that too. OCEANIX, which is constructing an entire floating city in South Korea, is placing everything on platforms made from concrete caissons. Because they're hollow inside, they become buoyant in water, so Dubai Reefs could do something similar. If this does end up happening, the decision to float it may turn out to be a smart one. According to one report, rising sea levels due to climate change could lead to almost 5,000 square kilometres, around 6% of the UAE's total land area, being underwater by 2100. In fact, some of the city's new islands look particularly vulnerable to the effects of climate change, and some may already be sinking. The potential tough times ahead aren't just limited to Dubai. New research claims that 70% of recent land reclamation projects have happened in places at risk of extreme sea level rise. So how likely are we to see this project completed by its target of 2040? Well, Dubai's no stranger to crazy concepts that'll probably never make it from render to reality. But it's also known for pushing ahead with seemingly mad schemes that nowhere else would ever dream of, and actually finishing them. This could end up being exactly what the coastline needs, a new island project that doesn't exploit the beautiful waters, but gives something back instead. You can learn more about this project and the other topics on our channel over on the World's Best Construction Podcast, available right now wherever you get your podcasts. And as always, if you liked this video and you want to learn more about where construction is headed, make sure you're subscribed to tomorrow's build.